Welcome to another episode of NFT Reviews for the Views. And the cat is out of the bag. And is this the most anticipated Asian NFT project mint that is coming out in next week? So for those of you who do not know, Neko Nation is actually a NFT project. It's a 9,999 profile picture project. And it is actually quite hyped within the Asian, I would say the Asian NFT artist community. And the reason for that is that there's a lot of high profile NFT Asian creators that are part of this project. You know, I have been waiting for some time to do this review. When I first came across this project, it kind of amazed me because they had a parcel in Crypto Voxel and then they built a whole town within that parcel. And this was back in February. And now we are in October. So basically this project took more than 8 months to build the community, to work on the profile picture, to build hype, to build the connections, to build this project. And therefore, I do want to share more about this project and also the team. So this is the website. It's called nekonation.io. There isn't a lot of information here. And I think the team actually forgot to update the FAQ. Because if you look at the FAQ, when mint, when price, how many to be announced, right? So they forgot to update the website. So rather than going through the website, go through the Twitter thread that they actually post about the mint date and also what is behind this project. So the mint date for this project is October 9th, which is actually in 5 days time. If you look at this, the mint time will be 9 a.m. Singapore time, and also for the Singapore, public mint, it will be at 9 p.m. Singapore time. So there's a 12 hours private mint or whitelist mint at that time. So they call it a whitelist mint, lives, right? So at a maximum, you can actually claim 9 lives by being active in the community, and if you get noticed by the founders, they'll give you like a mint chance. So here's the reason why I think this project is one of the most popular projects within the Asian artist community. So as you can see on the screen right now, what they're doing is that they have 9 legendary artists. So there is 9 like grail profile pictures or 9 animated grails by 9 separate really high profile Asian NFT artists, and also with music by someone who have worked with a lot of big movies, okay, composers of John Wick, Walking Dead, and Overwatch, right? So the team is actually quite connected, and one of the reasons why I want to cover this project is the art. I do think that besides the legendaries, right, the art is actually quite lit. You don't really see these type of arts. It really reminds me of Manga, right? But of course you cannot compare this with Manga because Manga has its own black box mechanism and stuff like that. But this one, I think it is a mint and then a placeholder and then reviews at a specific day. So it's not like a black box and then you burn it or whatever. But the only thing you can compare with Manga is the quality of the art and also the connection of the artist, because you need to have some sort of connection, and also you need to have some sort of following in order to rally 9 legendary artists within the NFT space to work on a project with you. So the mint price is actually 0.09, okay? If you have 1 life, which is the whitelist mechanism on the Discord, you can mint it for 0.09. If you have 2 lives, you can mint 2 for 0.089. So the more lives you have, the cheaper you get, mint this NFT collection. I'll talk about the price later at the end of some of my concerns. As we all know, we are indeed in a bear market, and usually, like I've seen a lot of projects that has around like the 10,000 profile pic not mint out with a 0.09-ish price range. But the lower it gets, the higher the possibility it could mint out. But I do believe that there is a different case for in here, because first of all, you have a lot of high profile artists, and some of these artists sold the work in the past for like 100 plus ETH in the past, right? So, and a lot of these artists have a fan base and a lot of collectors. These collectors are the people with the liquidity, and whether these collectors or whether these artists is able to rally a group of collectors to help this project mint out is also another question, which is also something that I have no answer to, but I'm very excited to see how everything will turn out, even though there's a 0.09 price. To be honest, back in the bull market, a art project like this with such a high quality art, I think 0.09 is actually undervalued, right? I think back then you have prices like 0.1 to 0.3 for such high quality art. But in this bear market, it is always better to be reserved and conservative, right? So they have 9 legendary artists. So in this thread, it introduces these 9 legendary artists. So Sear Light, according to this background, the artist sold a art before for 150 ETH on Super Rare. And he's also the co-founder of Capsule Hell. So Capsule Hell is also a collection that actually did quite well. This is the first high-profile artist, and then you have Wano, okay, and he has more than 500,000 followers on Instagram, and then he has been featured on Manga and Business Times. He has his art being purchased by Photoshop. So these are not normal artists, right? These are people that have success in the space, right? And then you have Kumo, whom I interviewed a while back in December, who is the founder of Kumo World, okay? So this is Kumo's art piece, and she has been featured in Business Times and also at NFT NYC. She was a speaker there as well. And then you have Ryan, okay? Ryan is a concept artist, worked on games in the past, and this is the 1 out of 1. And then you have Ki Juni, who's a co-founder of Capsule Hell as well, and founder of Fishbone Guild, okay? So this is the 1 out of 1. And then the next one is Javin Art, okay? And also ID Doosan is super rare and nitty gateway artist who created epic cyberpunk dystopian art with sales up to 19 ETH. So it really shows you that these artists do have a market, right? They do have collectors that and also have a proven track record of selling these art. But don't forget, these art are actually 1 out of 1, right? So when it comes to these profile pictures, these are traits generated profile pictures, maybe the pricing might be different, right? Of course, these 1 out of 1 legendaries might be able to sell for a slightly higher price than the mint price, but how about the rest of the collections, right? So Siobhan Wong, she's the fashion photographer turned 3D artist. She has worked with Sephora, Lancome, HBO, and also the founder of NFT Asia, right? So she's noted as one of the top 30 under 30 to look out in Asia by Forbes. So she has been featured in different publications. So this is a 1 out of 1. And then you have Nick, okay, and winning background artist for anime, graphic novel, okay. He has worked with Apple before, okay, so this is the art. And then finally, you have the founder of the project, which you could call her Wo. She's the queen and the founder, worked in Neo Burnett, which is actually a big advertising agencies, and with clients with MasterCard, BMW, McDonald's, Samsung. Her art has won numerous awards and featured in galleries and billboard in Singapore, Thailand, Dubai, Korea, Italy, New York, and Tokyo, right? So this is her 1 out of 1. So all of these 1 out of 1s will have legendary music, okay, by Variant Dark Girl. And the Variant Dark Girl's music was actually featured in John Wick 3 and also Overwatch, right? So all of these will have a special soundtrack, okay? And Variant actually has a lot of Spotify streams as well, right? So that's like 106 million streams, okay? What is Neko Nation, right? It is a world of tradition and temptation, elegance and taboo. Cadison, the people of the nation, Neko Sinner, Degens of society, Neko Master Authority who catch the sinners, and Baki Neko, legendary god cats and the masters, okay? This will be a 9,999 unique NFT collection, 900 plus hand-drawn trades, so you can see the art here. And to be honest, it does give me that Manga quality vibe art. And also, as you can see, the background of these artists is actually quite big. But if you look at the thread, 600 views, okay? 13 views, okay? And this is important as well, which basically shows you the noise, like whether this project is able to reach a lot of people, right? The hype behind it, the potential liquidity. So Wowo, a hobby smoking. So this is basically her background. And then you have the team, the cabinet. You have Fish, whom I interviewed as well in the past. And then you have all other different type of talented people who work with brands and IPs, okay? So the interesting thing about the developers is actually West Coast NFT. They are the developers that work with Doodle in the past. They are the developers who work with Amphers, okay? And also Goda, okay? So this, and also helped Shavin Wong. So there is that connection over there. And if you look at the developers, right, you have Witcher. So Witcher is actually for Manifold. And these people are actually quite well connected within the space. But the question is, how involved are they with this collection, right? How involved, and also whether they are gonna use their own network to help promote this collection as well. But this is definitely a star-studded, NFT collection from the art side and also from the development side. So behind the scene, you can see early sketches, and this is actually a really high quality mint. I think the team spent more than 6 months to just work on the art. They're planning to do manga, as you can see here. And then you can see that they're also trying to do 3D models like toys and figures, right? So yeah, look at this, right? They're prototyping physical merch and collectibles. So my understanding is that through this means they want to build this IP. And as you can, and also they have this crypto voxel town, which is the metaverse aspect of the project. So if you submit an art or something and you hold an NFT, you could display your art in this metaverse land. Not 100% sure how helpful this is to non-artist holders, but it is an option, right? It is an option here available for you. Okay, and then behind the art, there's a lot of hard work. They look at each individual piece because Wowo was in a international advertising agency, so she has a very high requirements of her art as well. As you can see, this is actually a really high quality mint. So memories, this is about the background. And then this is the roadmap, right? So in the past, they have billboards in New York, I think London, and then Tokyo as well, and 900 billboards across Thailand. So even before the mint, there's a lot of promotions. It really shows you that the founder has certain connections, or else you wouldn't see these being exhibited, right? So the Dubai one was actually the NFT Asia exhibition. So yeah, they were doing a lot of collabs, and some of these are actually quite high quality collabs. So basically what they did is that they opened the whitelist lives. So these community members from Kaiju Kings, Doodles, and also World of Women, Bored Ape Yacht Club, these holders were able to get whitelist, right? Usually what it means is that when you have high quality holders or people who have enough liquidity, they aren't really eager to sell, or they aren't really eager to flip. But in terms of the flipping aspect, recently they have been doing some sort of Discord giveaway. Like you could rate the legendary artist Twitter thread, and then you could click a pet the cat in the Discord, and then once the raid is completed, you'll get one whitelist mint spot. Okay, so they have been giving up quite a bit of these mint spot lately. And in these different raids, there's around 500-ish plus participation, right? So you can kind of see the base of the attention right now, right? So they have Nifty Gateway, the official publisher, and then they have this metaverse engagement. They were doing some sort of treasure hunt and stuff like that, like walking to Stairways of Heaven. And then they are working on 3D sculpture, which is actually quite high quality. But the question I have is that, yes, I do see a lot of IPs here, but what does it mean for the holders? Do holders get to redeem these for free? Or, what sort of benefits do we have, right? Or are you going to give away the 3D models so that holders can, put these into their metaverse gallery, or like on cyber or spatial? Or what is exactly there for the holder, right? I see a lot of development, but I don't see, the thing tying back to the holders, right? So basically, they're working on a manga and a comic. So at the same time, what does it mean? What does it mean for the holder? Are we going to get the manga for free? Is there going to be some royalty split or whatever? For those of you who do not know, Roll is actually the mod in NFT Asia. So if you look at NFT Asia is also a very strong community. And that is why I do think that, to a certain extent, this collection, it is, to my understanding, a NFT Asia collection, right? You have all of these big people, even Siobhan Wong, who's I think one of the founders of NFT Asia, taking part in this collection. Just to wrap up, I do think that this is definitely one of the most anticipated mint in the Asian community, especially within the artist community. But in terms of the attention, right? So a lot of views here, but 12,000 views over here. So it seems like there's some attention in this first thread. But when you keep going down, the views starts to go lower and lower and lower, right? Which makes sense, right? But then, okay, so 600 views, okay. So it really shows you, okay, people click onto here, and then people look at the mint price, they look at the price, maybe some people drop off because, the mint price is too high for them, right? And then people who are still interested continue looking. And then you have around, 500 to 600 interest views, okay, like that. Yeah, 600 once you scroll to this place, and even lower now. But in the recent raids, which I talked about, right? If you look at this, if you look at the recent raid, you look at the announcement. So these are the recent raid that they were doing. You can see that the people that actually engage in these raids is around the range of 500 to 600, okay? So a reasonable guess is that maybe there is around 500 to 600 people who are very enthusiastic about this project, okay? They have been doing a lot of collabs and giveaways in the past. But then that is like a few months ago, right? It's like a long time. And whether these people who hold these whitelists are still paying attention to this project, we do not know, right? For sure, you have around 500 to 600 active people who are still trying to get that whitelist, who are still trying to, be a part of this project. So coming back to my summary, my first thing is that I do believe that the team has been thinking about the pricing, okay? So the discount system is great. It rewards loyalty. But recently, they're giving away the whitelist quite easily. Well, which I don't blame anyone because it is a bear market. It is better to over allocate, in my opinion, compared to under allocate and not minting out. But it will be interesting to see how many NFTs will be minted and whether because of this discount system, people will mint multiple NFTs. And would that make the floor price weaker or would that make the floor price stronger? So the team spent more than 6 months to build this community and work on the art. And I think that is amazing. And this is one of the reasons why I want to spend time to talk about this project. And the NFT Asia community is strong within this community. And it'll be interesting to see how the artist versus collector dynamic plays out, right? If you have a community with a lot of artists and these artists are trying to sell the art and these artists aren't really collectors, then you have a very passionate group of people. But it doesn't mean that there is liquidity for also demand for a certain NFT project. But if you have a good mix of artists and also collectors, and some artists because they make a lot of money by selling the art, or some of them were founders of certain projects, right? So if they have that liquidity, there is this interesting dynamic of whether they're able to attract the collectors to be interested in this project, and that could definitely drive the minting out. And if the collectors are high rollers, like people who could pay a lot of Ethereum for the art, then maybe this collection could do quite well, right? Because you have a strong collector community. So it'll be interesting to see how the artist and collector dynamic plays out. And also with the 9 legendary pieces and the West 9,900 regular profile pictures, it'll be interesting to see the price differences, right? The Grail collections, the Grail 9 pieces is going to command a higher floor price because of the artists themselves. But then for the rest of the profile pictures, what does it mean, right? What do these holders and what is the incentive for the people to collect these NFTs besides being a profile picture? So if it's just a profile picture, is one enough rather than minting multiple? Okay. So if that's the logic, with minting multiple basically means that, you are trying to mint a 1 out of 1, okay? But that is only 9 pieces out of 9,999. So assuming everyone mints at 0.09 Ethereum, could there be difficulty minting out in this market at this price range, okay? So as I shared, this whole artist and also collector dynamic is important to play in this. So the team will really have to gauge on this dynamic and try to forecast the demand, right? This raise will be around 900 Ethereum, which is 1.2 million US dollars. So how would it be allocated to build the IP? Of course, I see that there's gonna be manga or some sort of comic. How much is gonna be allocated to that? And what does it mean for the holders of these profile pictures, right? Are they gonna get access, exclusive access to it? Is the characters gonna be featured in this manga? What does the holder really hold, right? What ownerships do they have, right? If you look at the FAQ, you do see an interesting roadmap with the metaverse play, that they already brought a place, and also you can show your art there potentially. But what do the holders really hold for the profile picture? Do they own the artwork? Can they use these NFTs to create t-shirt and sell commercial products? What is the NFT license for holding this, right? There is no answer on the website. So these are just some of the thoughts I have with this project. But besides these pragmatic thoughts, right, I do hope that the project is successful because I've been seeing this project, build a community, doing all these game nights, these karaoke nights, doing all of this art and also exhibitions and stuff like that, and finding these legendary artists, right? But personally, I do have some of these questions in mind. So I do believe that this will be a very interesting mint, right? You'll see that, it reminds me of another art-driven project like, Manga, right? Manga, they have the black box thing. So that is some sort of gamification as well, which I don't think is going to be here. But it really reminds me of a recent mint that actually kind of worked out well in the end, which is Spirit Gate, right? Which has a mint price of 0.08 to 0.09. She initially did not mint it out, right? But then her floor price right now is back at 0.1-ish. And the reason for that is because she has a lot of friends in the space. She has a lot of Bored Apes, she has a lot of Mutant Ape collectors, and that was able to sustain the floor price and to make it above mint, even though the collection jumped below mint and then did not mint out and then now going back up, right? You really can't say, right? And also it's kind of different, right? I do have some optimism for this 0.09 ETH price because of the connection of the artists compared to Overborn, which I shared, because Overborn you have two artists that don't really share within the Web2 community of the Web3 ventures. They haven't really built that much within the Web3 space, if you get what I mean. But these artists themselves, they have their own Web3 project, and some of them were successful, and also they have been building this community. So I am optimistic. So that's it, guys. This is your host, Non-Fungible TC. If you like the content, remember to like and subscribe. I do hope that these videos get more views so that we could show this to the projects, and maybe hopefully they'll give us some whitelists or NFTs so I could give back to you guys, the viewers. Yeah. So this is your host, Non-Fungible TC, signing out.